Let me start with introducing the AggreTrace tool. This is a single tool which can take your log from different systems across different servers accessible through different models and help you analyze, as well as this can act as an integration platform for your engineering teams. Let me show you how. Right. Let's look at the dashboard. Right. The dashboard gives you a quick view of how your last 7 days looks like. You can see we have last 7 days. We have how many log entries we have of them, how many are errors, and how many of them are warning, and how many active sources that we connected in the last 7 days, right? And it also gives you a glimpse of the top errors in the last 7 days based on it is, as well as it gives you very powerful 4 metrics. Before I dive deep, right, it will also show you the recent jobs. The jobs will be running behind the scenes as per your schedule, or you can also initiate on demand, which I will show you shortly, right? Let me start looking into the log insights first, right? So the log insights, you select a period and you pick the application for which you want to see the thing, and it will show you the different sources of logs configured. In this case, I have a file logs as well as I have the application log from the Postgres. You can select them and then click on this button, which will give you a AI-powered analysis of your results here, right? It will take a minute because it's for almost a year worth. So you can see here, you have 32K records, and out of that 369, which is like a 1.5% of the overall logs, and you had this many warnings, and it's come from the 2 sources. And you also have the details by the source where it is coming from and the count of the numbers, and it gives you the top errors that you are coming out of, right? These are the pattern of different errors that you have, and how many, and when it occurred first and when it occurred last. You have those details as well, and it also gives you a summary of what it is, right? So you can see here you have many authentication failures where you need to look into, and these are the key findings, like configuration passing errors. It occurred 20 times. Out of them, 10 errors are related to just for this particular items, and you had external service failures 11 times, and you have file not found errors 16 times, all those things. Not just findings, it also gives you the root cause analysis of what caused those issues, and it gives you these are caused by this because of so and so details. It gives you what are the causes. Not only that, it also gives you how you can fix them or what order you need to fix them. The high priority is you have to fix these authentication failures. So you have to make sure the user credentials are properly configured, right? Then only you will be able to get out of this functionality it gives. And this is high priority items that you need to close, and these are areas which you need to monitor. These metrics you need to be monitoring, and it also gives you other potential issues that can happen, right? It gives you, and then it gives you the event traces with very specific details of what those errors are, right? You have all this information. Now you have this information. What do you do with this? Right? You can click on this assistance button here, and you can start interacting with it, right? For example, these are, you can start with very simple questions like what are my most critical errors, right? And it will tell you from this information, these are the errors that happen. So from this data, this is what is causing this. Error emitting logs happened 78 times, failed to authenticated user happened at 72 times, all those details it will give you. And then it also gives you. Now you can also start asking additional questions based on what it is recommending you, right? And how it can be resolved. You can ask those questions. So it will help you fix, it will recommend you a fix as well, how to fix that, right? Or you can write your own queries also. So it gives, right, for this particular evaluating, these are the potential costs, and these are the resolutions. This is how you can fix them. It gives you that, and it also gives you the next steps, right? You can also ask questions, right? What are the issues related to JSON failures, right? You can also ask questions that, because it gives you those information based on that. So this gives you very interactive way of understanding your issues, and then the log analytics helps you to narrow down further and figure out in detail how it happened, or the detail of how the pattern you are seeing, right? You can see the trends of the errors, how often it happens, on which period it happens, right? And you can also see the hourly activities, and which of your source gives you the details more. So in this case, this file has given me the 394 errors on this date, right? And you can, so in this one, I have given a very specific client specific data. So basically it traces the activities of a client and tells me this particular client had a problem. So so in that log, I have included that information. So it narrows down to that particular client, and it will give me the details for this particular client's flow. These are the errors that happened, or the logs across, right? So you can see from particular client on that period how they worked and when really that error happened, and what was the detailed error that happened at that time. So you can narrow down to that very specific level. That is what this log analytics is bringing you, right? Now, how do I set up this? These informations are configurable, right? Tomorrow you have a new application. How do you bring it in, right? You have a configuration section where you can add new applications. So these are some of the applications I have configured in this system. And each application you can set up an environment, right? You can define the environment, which team it is working on, right? And also you can specify the different, you can copy an application and create it as a new, and you can also link different sources to this particular application. So in this case, I have this log file coming from the structured file. You can do that. Now, how do I create a log source? You have a way. You can always go and add a new log source. You can specify a name and what type of log it is. Is it a cloud monitoring log, or a server log, or application log? You choose that, and depending on the source type, where it is coming from, and you give the connection details, right? Based on that, if it is a cloud monitoring, for example, where is it coming from? Is it coming from CloudWatch, or is it coming from App Insights? You mentioned that, and based on that, you give the details. So based on what you have specified, right? If it is a log file, then where to read that log file? Is it from Linux, and is it given by this? All those credentials, you can set it up, right? If it is a database server logger, which server it is coming from, and you give the details for connecting. So basically you are configuring your different types of sources here, and you will be able to figure it out. You can do also the connection check. You can do from here, make sure your sources are coming in correct, right? And you will be able to initiate a log sync. It can be scheduled, as well as if you want to manually initiate, and for an immediate resolution, you can always go click on a new job, and it will give you the option to initiate the job sync for that particular application. So in this case, I select AggreTrace, which is my application, and these are the things. You can also decide, I just need the files from log file, or I can read from only SQL. You can choose that combination when you do, and then you can start the synchronization, which will run here, and you will be able to see the details of how it completed, right? You can do that. It also comes with another interesting tool called a schema comparison. We often have different environments run into different challenges, right? So you can do a very powerful, you can really get a comparison of your schema, not just a schema. I will give you a sample with Postgres for a quick references, but it also supports other database types also, right? So I'm selecting a particular development environment that I have. So you specify the host, you specify the name of the database, and you give the username and password. And if you have to give any additional connection parameters, you mention that, and you can do a test connection, and then you can go to the next step and you can connect to your next environment. Maybe this on your same server, a different DB, right? You can select that database name, and you can also select the host name. If it is on the same server, you can give, or if it is on a different server, different port, you can configure that as well. You can mention that, and give the password. Let me also give the additional information that I need to give for the connection, and I'm moving to the next step. When you see go to the next step, it also validates your connection there itself before, and it gives you a summary. So I'm doing this dev versus staging. This is my checking AggreTrace Demo versus staging on say 726 is my time, and I'm starting the comparison. So what it does basically, it create a job behind the scene, and you will be able to see the results. Now you can see these are the different jobs that were created over the time, and you can see the job is completed, and it identified differences. There are 43 objects added, and there are differences which to be removed, and modification also it gives you, right? When I click on the view results, it will give me very detailed information. This is the function that is removed, and these are the objects by tables, and you can see there whether it is an added or removed. You can see all those details over here, right? Now when you say like added, right? Now how do you synchronize this with this thing? So you can generate the script from here as well, right? So this is a new table added. So if you want to do source to target, you can click on that. It will give you the create script. You can copy to the clipboard, run it, and you can take it up. Or if you want to do the other way, from target to source, you will get the differential script. Whatever is, if it is a added or removed, you will get the appropriate script. If it is an changes, then it will give you the update script. So that's